Hi everyone, Phil from statisticsmentor.com here, helping you with SPSS. Now, one of the first things we do when we begin the analysis is to set up our variables. Recall that we have two tabs, one for the data view, which just looks like Excel, that's where all the numbers go, and one for variable view, which describes the variable of each entry in the columns. So we'll click on variable view. Now, what we're going to discuss in this video are the name and label, because I find that students get confused between the two. Now, for each variable we have to give it a name and also a label. This is where the words go. These are words to describe what your variables are. Now, the thing is this. The name here is for your reference when you're running your analysis and is not displayed in the output. The actual word that is displayed comes under label. So this is where a full account of the description of the variable is entered. Okay, in short, N is for like the nickname. N for nickname. Nicknames are short. L for long description. This is where the lengthy description goes, or at least the description you want to appear in the output. Let's say we have a variable education. Now there are some limits on this name, so let's just try a few things here. Say, can we enter the word education level? Education level. I get message, variable name contains a legal character. Now this is because under name we are not allowed spaces, so like A, B, C, as soon as it's accepted, and if it's accepted all the other entries suddenly appear. Let's remove that by clicking 1 and delete 1 and delete the whole thing. 1 and delete, clear the whole thing. Okay, let's try something else then. So it doesn't like spaces. So if we have, how about to educ? For some reason I want to begin with a 1 or a number 2. Again, this says an error message, variable contains an illegal first character. Now that is because we are not allowed numbers at the start. But educ1 and a number would be accepted. So the restrictions on the name here is that mustn't be any spaces, and also the first character must not be, it must be a letter basically, right? So it can't be a number or other strange things. Star educ, not accepted either. It's got to begin with a letter of the alphabet. Right, so for your convenience, remember N for nickname should be kept short. I like to keep it real short, 3 or whatever, 3 if possible. Label, this is where the full description can come. This is where whatever you enter here will come into your output. So let's describe it. Education level. Alright. So here there's less restrictions, labels. You could let's see, you could even begin with to education. You can begin with a number and you can have spaces. But we want education level. Okay. See, we have now education. Let's just enter some fictitious data like that. Right, I want to show you now where edu and education level comes into this. So let's say we want to look at descriptive stats of the frequency tables. Look in here, it says education level, so that is our label, and then in the brackets is our name, the nickname. I move it into the variable box and I just say OK. Just want to look at some output here. So notice I've got 2 boxes in the output, and they're referred to as the education level, which is the label, not educ, the name. Education level, right? So this is what we want people to see. Now, before finishing, let's note this again. Let's go back to descriptors frequencies. Reset this thing. Right, it's often the case I help students who have questionnaire data and they've got loads of variables coming down here and their labels could be quite lengthy. If it's quite lengthy, you can see that this is going to run off the box, so it gets all a bit, it gets really clumsy. It's just a massive long phrases here, and it's hard to find what you want. Now, if we know what our name is, and we know what, because we've set up the name, nickname for our reference, I think it's a lot more convenient if we can just reset SPSS so it only displays the nickname rather than both the label and the nickname. There's just too much there, and especially if your label is too long, as I said, this is going to look really clumsy. How you can do that, I want to kind of display only the nickname for my analysis, except for when I get the actual output, in which case we want the label. How you do that is you go under Edit, Options. It takes a bit of time here. What's it doing? Okay, we've got a pop-up box. Now under the General tab, Variable Lists, we want it to display our name, nickname. Alright. And then we say OK. Alright. Now let's try that again. The Analyze, and you see what's changed. Descriptive stats, frequencies. Look at that. Now, enter here is just, this is what I mean, just the nickname, the name. So it's less clumsy. And if we've got loads and tons of stuff coming down here, we've got tons of variables, then it's much more manageable to find, it's quicker to find what we want. Alright, if I shift this over again to the other side and I press OK, you can see that the output has not changed. It's still delivered to us the labels, not the nickname. So all I've done is just to got SPSS to display in the intermediary steps of the analysis to get it to display only the nickname, the name. Alright, so that's a useful tip actually. Great, so that's all.